college football. A brief glimpse at downtown Los Angeles, and happily we can tell you the temperature today is seasonal. Low 80s, not 100 plus like last week over in Pasadena. The Coliseum very near downtown, adjacent to the Southern California campus where today's game will be played. And the Penn State Nittany Lions last played a football game on this field, 1968 against UCLA. The Lions come in today young, relatively inexperienced, having lost their opening game to Texas this season, 8-3-1 last year, but they come back with the same head coach, Joe Paterno. This is his 25th season, 220 wins, more than any other active coach in Division 1A. He is a statesman for his profession. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, along with Bob Greasy. Bob, when you start pondering Penn State, you've got to start at quarterback, I think.
Well, Tony Sacca is the quarterback. He and Todd Marinovich came out of high school 3 years ago, highly touted. Marinovich on the West Coast and Sacca on the East Coast. The difference is Marinovich was redshirted behind Rodney Peete. Sacca had to play because of injuries to three guys ahead of him. The problem is he has struggled with consistency. He has not been an accurate passer. And today, if Penn State's going to have a chance, they need some big plays out of Sacca to those outstanding wide receivers that they have.
Well, Joe Paterno is still Joe, and the Lions are still the Lions. You start building this team with a rock wall defense, anchor it with linebackers, beat up the other guy, and then control the ball by running it.
There is no question that Joe Paterno's success has been consistency and conservatism, and you first do that with defense, and then you run the ball on offense.
Southern California, as they come in, and you see the numbers on the Trojans over last season. They defeated Syracuse in their opener, 36-14. Larry Smith, in his fourth season, came here from Arizona, 28-8-1, 21-1-1 in the Pac-10, which is quite remarkable, and looking for a fourth straight trip to the Rose Bowl with a conference title. But Southern California is another team that is deeply tied to running the ball, yet the quarterback is their man right now.
Well, Todd Marinovich is a redshirt junior. Last year's team was a veteran ball club. They lost 13 starters. Marinovich is going to have to be the leader this year. 9 starters off of that defense are gone. The offense is going to have to control the game. Marinovich is very confident, a very much improved quarterback even from last year, and he's going to have to throw the ball early to get SC going, because Penn State is going to stack against the run today.
Southern California State is going to have the ball first offensively. Southern California won the toss. They chose to defer to the second half. The strengths and weaknesses as defined by our analyst, Bob Greasy.
Well, it's kind of strange to see a Penn State team's strength offensively being their wide receivers. Paterno says it's the best group of wide receivers he's ever had at Penn State. And for SC defensively, what Sacca will be looking at is 4 new starters in the secondary. And although Penn State is going to try and run the football, when he tries to throw it, he's going to be throwing against a very green secondary for the SC Trojans.
It'll be interesting to see whether or not the Trojans kick to this man, because he had a big day last week against Texas in the opening game. Gary is a typical Penn State football player to me. He played the hero position in the defensive secondary last year. He was a tailback the previous 2 years and ran for a lot of yards. But he's very typical of the kind of athlete that Joe Paterno and his staff recruit at Penn State. They recruit athletes. Grant Runnerstrom will do the kicking off for Southern California, as he has in every game, from Granada Hills. And Leroy Thompson will go back there with Gary Brown. Leroy Thompson is out of Knoxville, Tennessee, of all places, playing tailback at Penn State. So the game's on. Very comfortable conditions for everybody here at the Coliseum. The ball carries 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards into the end zone. And Brown, with no chance to get up ahead of steam, puts it down, and the Lions will go from the 20, first down. Penn State arrived here yesterday about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Took them all day to get out here. This is the young man that so much was expected of when he came to the campus. So much is still expected of him. But Joe said yesterday, in a way, it was too bad they didn't have a chance to redshirt him, because you don't see a whole lot of freshmen, and particularly freshmen at the skill positions, playing at State College. But Tony's there, and he rolls it out to throw it on the run and completes his first pass, and it's good for a first down. The ball is caught by David Daniels, a senior out of Sarasota, Florida. So the offensive alignment for Penn State will go this way. Saka is he's a big guy, too. He's 6'5", 225. Sam Gash, another big guy. Leroy Thompson at tailback. The asterisks, of course, meaning Letterman. Terry Smith and David Daniels are the burners outside. Up front, not the biggest Penn State alignment you've ever seen, but they're big enough, and they're good. And they're going to get better. You see seniors along the offensive front, but that doesn't always define experience for you. Leroy Thompson. And that's the old bread and butter play for the Nittany Lions, just like student body right and left's the bread and butter play at Southern California. The defense for USC, McDaniels, Prouget, and Gibson in the front lines down, Gibson being the veteran there. Backers are very good. Hartsacker and Ross in particular, Gee and Barber. The secondary is sort of a place for unemployed tailbacks since Calvin Holmes and Marcus Hopkins both came here as tailbacks. It's second down and about 5. Asaka goes straight back, has good protection, and pumps one down the pipe. Good. Down to the 45. The reception by Daniels extended inside the 35 as he broke away from a Trojan tackler.
Two of the first 3 plays for Penn State are passing plays. Look from behind the green secondary of USC. A nice throw by Saka over the linebackers and in front of the deep safety. Big completion, big confidence builder.
He got away from Calvin Holmes. Remember, he is a converted tailback, and he's playing a new position as Sam Gash, a 225-pound fullback senior from Hendersonville, North Carolina. Number 11 carried the ball. And there's almost nothing there. Give him a yard, make it second down and 9. The ball is now resting at the 33 of Southern California. Terry Smith, number 8, wide to the bottom of the picture. Saka fakes it, keeps it, rolls out, gets a good block. Puts his head down, goes for the first down, and he's got the marker. First down for the Lions inside the 25.
Terry Smith has got to be concerned about his defensive units. Last year they led the Pac-10 in almost every defensive category and nationally led in yards against the rush. This year it's been a little bit of a problem with those 9 starters graduating.
Thompson behind the line of scrimmage. McDaniels, number 78, got there. Terry McDaniels, 275-pound redshirt freshman from Altadena, California.
McDaniel takes over the position that Tim Ryan played last year for the Trojans. A defensive team for the Trojans had 4 defensive players drafted in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft, and 2 of them were drafted in the first round.
Second down and about 14. Asaka goes down the middle, and the pass is incomplete. His intended receiver was his tight end, Al Golden, but Golden had a Trojan behind him and one in front of him, and the pass was incomplete.
Well, he was covered, Keith, as you mentioned, but it was a good throw by Saka because nobody was open, and he threw it away from the defense, and the only man that had a chance to catch it was Golden, his receiver.
So it is third down and still right at 14. Going to put it up. Goes underneath. Thompson, screen pass, caught and dragged down. Great play by Marcus Hopkins, a 200-pound senior converted running back playing strong safety. So that'll get your kicking unit in, and for the first time, I think you find that Penn State's kicking team is not outstanding.
Here's a screen. You can't run a screen. Here's the man covering him. You can't run a
opening game at the end of August. You see the numbers on Marinovich's height against Syracuse, his career record. Marinovich rolls it left, going to put it in the air, lob down the sideline. Gary Wellman reaches up, makes the catch, and it's good at the 35-yard line.
Well, we mentioned in the opening that SC would probably throw to set up the run. Take a look at the right side is Wellman's pattern. It's a double zone. He releases around him. Marinovich throws it on time just as he's going around. An outstanding throw, especially for your first throw of the ball game.
He got behind Leonard Humphreys. Southern California has more speed, I think, this year than I have seen on almost any USC team. Time is out for the moment. Jim Fogeltant's the referee. Something to do with the clock, apparently. I can't hear him. His microphone is not on. He's looking at the clock, so it must have something to do with the clock.
Keith, you know, you mentioned about the SC speed. You know, one of the big surprises Larry Smith had 3.5 years ago when he came to Southern Cal from Arizona was the lack of speed on the Trojan ball club. He said he was really surprised that they didn't have much speed.
Now it's a track team.
Yeah, now he took care of it. Yeah, the track team is right.
Couple of scores as some surprises come through. Halftime, the Washington State Cougars, who were pummeled by Wyoming last week at home, beating BYU, which beat Miami last week. And that game is being played in Provo. And Purdue, and I'm not surprised, frankly, that Purdue's leading Washington at halftime, and Bob Greasy is elated.
The Boilermakers are back.
Well, they're messing around trying to get the clock fixed. I don't know what. I still haven't been able to hear the referee's explanation of what the problem is. It may get to a point where they have the back judge keep the time. Raul Spears opens at fullback with Ricky Urbans. Urbans didn't have all that big a night in running the ball. He wound up with something like 96 yards against Syracuse. He is, of course, was the MVP in the Rose Bowl last year. You're not going to keep him quiet very long. He's too good. Gary Wellman, of course, the wideout who just made that reception. Larry Wallace, the other wideout, is a real speed burner. The guys up front, there's enough experience there, particularly in Tucker, who's an All-American, Harlow, Moody, and Derek Beese is new, with Polsky taking over the center job as a redshirt freshman. So it's first down, Southern California, just outside the 35-yard line, and there's the old familiar put your head down and knock a hole. Ricky Urbans carrying the ball, but he's hit by Darren Perry and Reggie Gibbon.
Let's take a look at the strengths now offensively for SC. They have a very balanced attack. They run as well as they throw. For Penn State, they are very tough to run against. Oftentimes have an 8-man front. Look for SC to come out throwing the ball as they did on their first possession of the game.
Time call for a moment. That was not a yellow flag that was thrown out there. That's a piece of equipment. Southern California, a lot of them are wearing those small braces that go across the lower back and tend to protect down in that lumbar region and the kidney area, and one of those had come loose from somebody. Ricky Urbans in particular wears it, and it's probably a good thing because a guy that carries the ball as many times as he does gets up pretty sore on Monday morning. The clock is still all screwed up here at the Coliseum. That's become a very common thing in recent times, it seems. But they're not able to get it to work. Penn State had a chance, missed on a 39-yard field goal try off their first possession. And we are in a scoreless ball game right now. Southern California owns the ball, resting at the 40. It is second down, and they've got to go just across the 45 to get the first down, with Giannetti, Dieter, and Benfatti as your 3 down fellows, with Ravotti, Wright, Goganis, and Gibbons, the linebackers. You'll see D'Onofrio in there pretty soon. Secondary is Fusetti, Perry. Willie Thomas is the center fielder and the principal man back there. He runs the show, and Leonard Humphreys is the other corner. Joel Scott is not in there now as they go to Travis Hanna instead on second down and about 5. You hear Marinovich checking off, setting himself up, gets some heat, gets it away in a hurry, beating the heat, and the pass is caught about a yard and a half short of the first down. That's the one thing I think that sticks out about him this year, Bob, is he gets rid of the ball a little quicker. He's beating the pressure a little better.
Well, he had a good year last year. It was his first year playing after backing up Rodney Peete, actually sitting out the year redshirting. But when you play 1 year and you have some success, you come back the next year and say, I can even do better. And he is much more confident this year than he ever was last year.
Third down and close to 2 yards. Ricky Urbans has the first down. Punches his way to the 47. And I don't care what the names are, when you take it inside the tackles against Penn State, you're going to earn what you get. Ohio State beaten up on Boston College. Since in the post-Flutie days, the Golden Eagles have not flown too high. Georgia finally squeaks out a one-pointer over Southern Miss. A little like Southern Miss was going to get off to a great start, having beaten Alabama last week. This is Irvins again. Cut it back inside, and for the first time today, the ball is on Penn State's side of the field at the 48-yard line. Brett Wright, inside linebacker, junior out of Pomfret, Maryland, made the tackle. A fellow named Eric Hunter is making a big difference, I think, in the fortunes of the Purdue Boilermakers this year, huh?
He's playing very well. Quarterback.
Second down, long 5. Marinovich back to throw it. Throws underneath to Irvins, and there are 5 white shirts there to get him for a yard loss. Greg Giuseppe and the nose guard Todd Berger are the principal tacklers on the play. Now you're looking at 6 on 3rd down. 3rd and 6. You saw the Californians leading Miami in the first quarter by a score of 7-3. Some of you in the East may be surprised. A lot of people in the West are not. Bruce Snyder improves the California Golden Bears are goodly bit. Marinovich, left-hander, rolls right, throws very well doing that. Pass is caught by Travis Hanna, a sophomore out of Inglewood, California. That's a community down there by the Forum where the Lakers call home. He gets enough for the first down inside the 39 of Penn State.
Hanna's out here. He's just going to run a deep curl. The inside man is going to clear out as the quarterback gets outside the pocket. A nice mixture for Southern Cal. Don't keep your quarterback inside the pocket all the time. Mix it up for your pass protection and your offensive line. You know, Marinovich, Keith, not only throws well from the pocket, being 6'4", and can get outside, as he showed just there, also runs the option and runs it fairly well.
This is Irvins on a little cutback to the inside. He runs into number 99, Rich McKenzie, and McKenzie takes him down, but he picks up about 7 yards. Talking with Todd Marinovich yesterday, I asked him if he's where are the cracks in the Penn State defense.
Right now, there's not a whole lot, and they try not to give you the deep stuff. They try to bait you into throwing it deep, and then they get a lot of interceptions. Last year, they had a team interceptions was really high, so they try to get you to throw the ball downfield in long situations and get those interceptions.
Second down, long 2. After the run by Irvins. Fullback Spears with a carry for a first down to the Penn State 25. This is a typical Southern California march. They've used the pass to spread them a little bit, to open some cracks, and now they're pound on
It's
them.
a nice mixture of pass first and run second being utilized by coordinator John Matsko for SC. You just cannot come out and try and beat Penn State with the SC running attack. You have to throw the ball to loosen them up. Let's look at coordinator John Matsko.
Irvins, out of Muir High School in the Pasadena area, picks up a couple of yards on that carry down near inside the 23. The offensive front for USC, Moody's 285, 6'7", Deese 265, Opolsky at center 260, Mark Tucker 6'3" or so, 270, Pat Harlow 6'7" and 270. They're big enough. Marinovich pass, lucky to get that one back. Penalty flag goes down. Humphreys had a shot at it, but There's a flag thrown there.
May have had his hand on the back, Keith.
Might have given him a little push in the middle of the back. It was well done, though, Leonard, even though the guy happened to be in the wrong place. That's what it is. Yep. Leonard Humphreys, number 6.
It's a good look at it here. As Wallace comes right at you, the ball is a tad bit late. You see Humphrey looking to the inside. Now watch his left arm. He grabs the shirt.
Yeah, shirt tail.
Grabs the shirt. He wasn't too sure that he was going to get there to knock the ball away. It was a nice play. He didn't have to grab the shirt.
Wallace is a sophomore out of Stockton, California, and he's really quick. Got to stay with him, or you wind up doing what Leonard just did, trying to protect yourself. Puts the ball just inside the 19-yard line, where it's a first down for SC. They give it to Urban. He cuts it back into the middle and runs into 2 of the Lions. The 2 being the inside backers, Brett Wright, 47, and Gugenis, 42. They stayed right at home where they're supposed to.
Well, if you're a defense coordinator for the Penn State Lions, Jerry Sandusky, if you're going to give up any points, this is the way you want to do it, slowly. You don't want to give up the cheap touchdown, the long passes.
Give you every chance in the world to make a mistake.
To make a mistake, exactly. There's Sandusky. This is the 13th play of the drive.
Marinovich pumps it. Now he's got Giannetti after him and throws it away. Frank Giannetti, number 85, who had a big week last week in the Texas loss. And he was after Todd Marinovich. Now, you don't want that 265-pounder climbing your frame.
85 is Giannetti right there. 3 guys block him. Spins out. 4 guys have a chance at him. Look at the determination. Continues to go. Had a great game, as you mentioned, Keith. 2.5 sacks last week against Texas. And that's the reason why right there. Great desire.
He's a 5th-year senior out of Toms River, New Jersey. Mine has gone to the lead over California in the first period. That game's up at Berkeley. Okay. Ricky Irvin, that might get you a face mask. Yep, it will. That's just bad luck, really, because the Penn State man reached for him, Rich McKenzie, and happened to get him, and the flag came out.
Penn State was flagged for 13 penalties in last week's ball game against Texas. 3rd down and long play. Penn State was gearing up for the pass.
Yeah, McKenzie was just grabbing, reaching for anything he could get.
He was rushing the passer, and then there was the man with the ball. He says, let me grab at him.
They mark off the penalty, and we'll pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can identify themselves.
Channel 7, KABC TV, Los Angeles.
So with that penalty, they move the markers.
And that is a big penalty.
Oh, it's a big one. It makes it first and goal.
It's like a turnover. I mean, they had him stopped. Paterno, a lot of mistakes in last week's ball game. Had some problems with his kicking game. Penalties.
They give it back to the fullback, Raul Spears, and on first and goal from the 9, just kind of follows the big uglies up front and picks up a couple of yards. Spears is 235, a junior out of Compton. He doesn't need an escort to go home, I'll tell you that. He's big enough to take care of himself. And for a man that size, is very quick.
But he's kind of the forgotten man in that backfield, too, because everybody talks about Marinovich and Irvin's the tailback, but Spears, the fullback, he could get some yardage just
good player.
Without anybody looking at him.
He's a junior. And the guy behind him, Mooney, is from Temple City, California. He's at 230 pounds and still growing. 15th play in this possession coming up now. 2nd down and goal from just outside the 7. Marinovich gives to Ricky Irvin. And Penn State's defense, ever grudging, will take him down at the 5 with Reggie Givens, a sophomore outside linebacker out of Sussex, Virginia, 58, making the tackle. Those 2 outside backers are McKenzie, a sophomore from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and Givens out of Virginia.
Both good players.
Both kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Both true freshmen last year. Started in the Holiday Bowl. Gibbons, in fact, started 5 ball games.
3rd down and goal, USC on the Penn State 5. Marinovich getting some heat from the backside. Passes away. Griffin, touchdown. Blake Griffin, the tight end.
Marinovich is going to roll to our right, and that is he's flare control. The quarterback is actually pulling the linebackers. Griffin was sitting in the backfield, set up the block, let all the linebackers.
Well, if you're still not driving a Chevy.
16 plays, 70 used a little more than 8 minutes in that possession to take the lead. Quinn Rodriguez with the point. It's good. 3:05 to go, first quarter. Southern California. The air pretty high, and they run together. 33 came up. Brian Mazur and ran in, collided with Thompson, and that sort of negated anybody getting up ahead of steam.
Let's go back to a lot of stuff on this one. Here's the receiver. He's going to clear out. Now it's a corner blitz. The corner's coming, and the inside linebacker. Here's Griffin right here. Watch him set up and sneak out right here as Marinovich rolls away to get more time. Corner on the bottom comes. Inside linebacker. The corner is free, but Marinovich gets away from him and makes a nice throw to Griffin. It's kind of a sneaky play, but the attacking defense of Penn State didn't help.
Lions go to the attack now. Sacco back to throw it and goes down the pipe. Got a man wide open. His tight end, Al Golden. The pass is caught. Golden bringing it down, taking a hard lick just over midfield. Big gain. Sacco now is 4 out of 5. And his receiver, Golden, is shaken up. He really took a lick. Southern California is the way that particular defensive alignment giving Penn State the middle of the field for the tight end. Timeout. On first down, call it midfield. It's just barely over midfield. Golden had to leave the ball game. Sacco hands the ball off to Thompson, the tailback, and he pops it. Leroy Thompson broke that first tackle. 205-pound senior from Knoxville, Tennessee. Yeah, of course, Johnny Majors tried to keep him at home and get him to go play for the Volunteers. He didn't want to.
Yeah, he actually called Penn State. He says, hey, why aren't you guys recruiting me? I'm interested. Come on down here and recruit me.
Joe said, who are you? I want to play for you. Well, come on up here. Okay. And it worked out. Picked up the first down when he got through that first tackle. He's a big, strong runner. Ball is at the 35-yard line, and Sacco back to pass. Penalty flag is on the field. Down the middle it goes, intended for Terry Smith. First time they've thrown to the speedster from Monroeville, Pennsylvania. And the flag is down. Let's see which way it goes. Trojans offside.
Keith, I've been impressed with Sacco so far in the ball game. You know, he came in only completing 39% of his passes. He's been right on the target.
Yeah, but go ahead and explain why his percentages are so low.
Well, it's the Penn State passing system. They throw the ball downfield most all the time. They don't take any of this nickel and dime stuff where you dump it off to the backs or a tight end crossing shallow. There is no easy stuff in this passing system for Penn State. It's all downfield. Your percentage is going to be low.
Sacco now 4 out of 5 for 71 yards. First down and 5 from the Trojans 30. Gives it to Thompson up the middle. This time he didn't quite break the tackle. Scott Ross, number 35, got a piece of him as he went by, and that destroyed his momentum and balance. So he'll be a little short of the first down.
So look at Ross right there. Two-time All-Pac-10 linebacker and the leader. He just steps aside that offensive lineman, and then Thompson gives him a little juke. And he is the heart and soul of that defensive team, Scott Ross.
Al Golden, he's back in there now at tight end. It'll be 2nd down and 2 for the Lions. Saka wants to throw. He's blindsided by Mike Salmon, the quarterback. The freshman from Phoenix got him.
One of the things they wanted to do to Saka was blitz. Here is he right here. Salmon just going to come, even though he rolls to his right a little bit. Nobody is blocked. The backs both go to the right side, and there is nobody left to block the cornerback who was in on a blitz.
And that'll make it 3rd down and 13. That was a big defensive play. They pick up a blitz, throw a hummer to Golden, and Golden is sandwiched. Howard McCowan really nailed him. So Al's going to get up and walk away from it, but he's going to feel like he got hit by a runaway truck.
Well, this is an area, this is a 4-down situation here, Keith. They didn't pick up the 1st down, but with the way their field goal kickers have been kicking lately, they're going to go for the 1st down.
On 4th and 3. That's longer than 2. Saka got him. That's Golden, the tight end, to the 15-yard line and a 1st down. That's a heck of a pass. It was a burner, but the tight end held on, and now Penn State is knocking on the door at the end of the quarter. Trailing Southern California 7-0, but they've got a 1st down at the SC 15. They put Gary Brown in at tailback and Brian O'Neill in at fullback. Brown is the senior. Tony Saka has been a dominant figure so far early in this ball game for the Lions offense. Let's see if Brown and O'Neill can generate something here. Brown with the fake. Saka keeps it and taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Craig Hartsucker. Back at the 27-yard line.
Hartsucker, number 40, top of your screen, top left. That's Duffy, number 65. Hartsucker was a starter 2 years ago. In fact, had 7 sacks of the quarterback. Last year was beat out by Junior Seau, who was the Pac-10 Defensive Player of the Year, was a draft choice number 1 of the San Diego Chargers.
That's a loss of 12 yards, and the right side of the Penn State line moved. So they may tack on another 5 because that's a dead ball foul.
Pretty tough, Keith, when you're such a good pass rusher like Hartsucker was 2 years ago, and then get beat out.
The play was legal by rule.
That means the tight end moved, and he can't.
Well, if a defensive man jumps into the neutral zone and causes the offensive man to move, it's a no play.
No play is what it was. O'Neill is out. Gash is back now on 2nd down. Saka got his man inside the 10, out of bounds at the 8-yard line. David Daniels covered by Calvin Holmes. Well, let me rephrase that. Calvin Holmes trying to cover him.
Just a great play and a great throw by Saka. He also got a very nice block by number 11. Watch number 11 to the right of your screen. Maybe you'll see the block. Outside containment. Excellent throw on the run. Saka is looking, well, this is the first time I've seen him play in person. All these reports we've got about him being inaccurate, I don't believe any of that stuff.
3rd down and 3. Thompson is back at tailback. And touchdown. Penn State. Al Golden, who has been pounded on in a ball game, is now rewarded with the TD as Saka got away from Marcus Hopkins. You're going to take a look at the tight end Golden. Nobody's going to cover him because
because they're all blitzing. But the man that makes the play is Saka because he gets away from the blitz, and Golden has the easy touchdown.
Bayak is into the ball game now, the freshman, who will try to tie it at 7 early in the second quarter of play. Bangs it through there. 7-7 ball game. Saka now 8 out of 9, 122 yards and a touchdown. Stations WHAS TV, Channel 11 in Louisville, Kentucky. Now bringing you ABC's college football in addition to the other programming. So welcome aboard, WHAS. And let's help O'Hara get those Louisville Cardinals cranked up. We'll see the Cardinal basketball team early on in December when they play in the Big Four Classic up in Indianapolis. Vinnie Crum always participates in that. So welcome, WHAS TV. Bayak will kick it off. Travis Hanna and Curtis Conway are the deep people. Curtis Conway is an interesting story. He was an outstanding quarterback in high school and didn't quite cut the mustard with the grades. Went to junior college for a semester, got his grades up, checked into USC, and he's going to be a goodly bit of fun before he's gone. Meantime, Craig Bayak from Bell Vernon, Pennsylvania, pops it, drills it down to the 7-yard line, and here comes Hanna. Travis Hanna, the speedster, and one man on the corner brings him down. He almost broke that baby big.
Go back and take a look at the touchdown. The 3 backs will come this way, all 3 of them. Now watch as Southern Cal is going to blitz when you get down in this area. Here's Golden. He's going to slide over here. Nobody's going to touch him. But the quarterback out here, the man he has to beat is right here. The fake is to the right. Nice play by Saka to avoid. Now it's gravy. I got my man in the end zone. All I got to do is flip it to him. Touchdown. And Saka made that play right there. Aggressive defense by Southern Cal. Saka beat it.
Trojans will go to work now. Their second possession of the ball game at the 25-yard line with Scott Lockwood in at tailback. But Marinovich comes out throwing, gets his pass away, throws a wounded goose upfield, and it is incomplete. He's lucky to get that one back. He's trying to get it to Scott Lockwood out of the backfield, and he didn't have anything on it, throwing it off his heels. The Goodyear Blip, Columbia, out of Carson, California. John Creighton, Redondo Beach, at the controls, flying in the blue sky of Southern California this afternoon. And the ocean haze is pretty much gone now, and it's quite bright. Very pleasant. Second down and 10. Marinovich, short drop, quick pop to the sidelines, and Leonard Humphreys makes Gary Wellman pay for it. Do you sense a little shift in attitude here?
Penn State has played well the entire ball game, Keith. Even the touchdown drive by Southern Cal, they didn't give up anything very easily. Everything was tough. In fact, Southern Cal took 16 plays to get down. And offensively, Penn State has played well. Look at the comparison of the 2 quarterbacks. Saka having the best of it.
Third down and 10 from the 25. Out of the shotgun. Gets it off. Got his man. First down. Wellman, 46-yard line. The Trojans get the big play. 21-yard pickup. Reggie Gibbons.
Well, Marinovich is on the right. He's looking for Wellman first. You read deep to short. Steps up in the pocket. Now watch as he throws the ball away from the defense. That's just too good.
Yeah, but they got exactly the matchup they wanted,
oh, yeah.
Bob. They got a linebacker trying to cover Wellman.
Exactly right.
You got
exactly
no chance.
Right.
No chance.
That's why you put the man in motion. The man came in motion to pick up the linebacker coverage.
Ricky Irvin's up close to midfield, about 4 yards on the carry. You see Giannetti getting up from the stack, 85, one of the participants. The other was 38, Mark D'Onofrio. D'Onofrio had a Teaneck, New Jersey in there, and he's a wild man. There are your top 10 scorers. You can look at them. Auburn is not the all-fired powerhouse, I don't think, so far that they were thought to be.
Not yet. Of course, this time of year, there's a lot of them laying in the bushes.
Yep. Cal's gone back to the lead over Miami. Theirs ain't golden yet, but they're coming. Here comes the second man with the ball, Curtis Conway. Young man we were talking about a while ago. I mean, he can haul it. 6'2", 180. That time, the Lions had a man at home waiting for him, and they took him down. So many times, I don't know how many Penn State football games I've done over the years. It goes all the way back to the late 50s. I don't know that I've ever seen him really blown out of a ball game.
It goes back to Joe Paterno and the basics and the foundation that he puts into the overall program.
Timeout, 12:01 to go, first half. We're tied at 7. Replay for UCLA. So after I got through here at the Coliseum, I ate supper and went over to local station and KTLA and redid it. So I got to do the game twice before I went back to Mexico City that night. A long day. Marinovich prowling around is now going to go out of bounds. He just didn't have anybody to throw to, and he was, I think, fearful of trying to dump it, and instead ate it, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, the reason he didn't have anybody, Keith, was because Lynn Humphreys was covering Wellman. Wellman was trying to run an out and up. Marinovich had a lot of time because he was outside the pocket, but good coverage by Humphreys.
So Ron Dale is in to punt, had 5 in the opening game at Syracuse, averaging just under 42. A high school All-American. Penn State sends 2 people back, Tyson Thomas and Terry Smith. Dale gets some air under it. The ball is down at the 15. Terry Smith didn't handle it. And that reminds me of the problems UCLA had, huh? We'll be in the state of Michigan all day next Saturday. You got UCLA and Michigan at Ann Arbor. And then up the road, a little over an hour's drive, we'll be working with the second game, Notre Dame and Michigan State. It all starts at 12 noon Eastern Time here on ABC. Michigan State playing Syracuse today. On first down, Saka rolls to throw, gets it off. It is incomplete. The ball was thrown very hard and could not be handled by David Daniels, and David gets up counting his appendages to make sure they're all still in place. But he took a lick from Stephon Pace.
Take a look at Southern Cal defensively last year. Their national ranking, they were first in defense, second in total defense, and third in scoring defense. And of course, 9 starters of that team have departed, as we mentioned. Junior Seau, the linebacker, and Mark Carrier, both #1 draft choices.
This is Gary Brown. And he moves it to the 19. One of the things in looking at what Southern California did in the opening game against Syracuse, they didn't run block all that well, I didn't think. And I frankly didn't think that McDaniels was much of a force from the 3-down lineman, but Larry Smith said yesterday he'd lost 10, 12 pounds and was getting a little quicker. But Penn State so far today has been able to handle the down people of Southern California's defense pretty well. 3rd down. Saka's pass is tipped. It is tipped. And there's a penalty flag. The penalty flag is back there where the quarterback threw it from. Could be a hold, and it is. It's a split crew working the ball game today for the Pac-10. Jim Fogeltantz is the referee. Ray Highsmith, the head linesman. Dan Priesterbach is the side judge, and Dan Hill, the back judge. From the Central Independent Officials Association in the East Coast, David Hicks is the umpire, Doug Robbins the line judge, and Walt Lucas the field judge.
Penalties refused, 4th down.
Doug Helkowski is in the ball game to punt now for Penn State, and when Doug's in, it gets pretty exciting.
Helkowski has punted in 23 games in his career at Penn State, and he's had 8 blocked punts. Of course, Larry Smith, when he was at Arizona, there you go with 8 blocked punts in 23 games. And Larry Smith always likes to block punts. In fact, in Arizona, in 7 years, he blocked 28 kicks. So something may happen here today.
How deep is he? What is he? He's 11 yards. That's where he was warming up. That's pretty close. Got a lot of foot on it, though. Runs Lockwood back inside the 20. And he gets back across the 20, and that's a heck of a punt by Helkowski. 58 yards. And Lockwood lost 2 trying to bring it back.
He leads the country in punting after 1 or 2 weeks of the season with an average of 51 yards. That won't hurt his average a bit.
Southern California will go to work. The ball is resting just over the 20. The score is 7-7. 10:52 to go if the clock is right at the first half. Wallace and Wellman now, both wide with the bottom of the picture. For the left-hander Marinovich, who gives it to the up man, the fullback. And the fullback in this series is Scott Lockwood, who is also a tailback. I asked Larry Smith yesterday if all that noise I'd been listening to coming over the practice wall was him being a little tougher on his young team than normal, and he said this.
Oh, I don't think we are. In fact, I think I'm going easier on them. Be quiet. I mean, in practice and the physical stuff. But the mental part is where you really, I think, if the young team... See, I think this time of the year, every team is searching for their identity. I think there are a lot of very average football teams across the country. And I think that's why you see so many upsets early in the season. And I think this team has potential to be an excellent football team. But on the other hand, it has the potential to go the other way, too.
And the Penn State defensive bunch now beginning to knock folks around. Getting a little tougher as the time goes on. They chased Marinovich, and he had to unload it. And he, again, sort of lobbed that ball back into the middle of the field where Urban's brought it down. But you keep throwing it down in the middle like that, and somebody's going to take it away from you.
Especially with that much loft on it. You know, you want to, as a quarterback, you want to complete every pass that you call. It's just not possible, and if you throw that ball that softly into the middle of the field, more often than not, bad things are going to happen.
3rd down and 6. On the dead run, Johnny Morton, a redshirt freshman out of Torrance, California, for a Southern California first down. They've got speed.
I think it just shows, Keith, the confidence with which Southern Cal has in their passing game now and in Marinovich. He has really matured from last year. Really one of the leaders, only a sophomore, but one of the leaders on this ball club.
The 2 tight ends have scored both touchdowns. Golden for Penn State and Griffin for Southern California. First down, Trojans midfield. Marinovich rolls out, throws, and threw a bad pass to Griffin. Frank Griffin, the tight end, is out there all by himself, and Todd just simply threw a bad pass.
You're exactly right. Just before throwing, he knows it. Good call, though, on first down. Play action pass.
The Washington Huskies playing at Purdue today. They will be the next opposition in the conference opener for USC next week up in Seattle.
It's always a tough trip.
Yep. Except it's early in the season. Even if it's wet, it won't be cold. Marinovich has some time, gets it off, and is caught by Travis Hanna. Great catch by Hanna. He just simply took it away from Humphrey.
Marinovich had 4 receivers to this side. He looked at all 4 of them. He wants Hanna to go deep. He looks back to the center. He says, I'm going to throw this ball away. And while I'm doing it, I'm going to give Hanna a chance to catch it. There it is. Good call, the official, right on top of it. Only 1 foot needs to be in bounds in college.
Ball is marked just short of the 15-yard line. First down, Southern California, trying to break the 7-7 tie. That's Lockwood at fullback, slashing runner out of Colorado, and he's down to the 13. Scott had a hand injury a year ago, and it really took away most of the fun of the season for him. He's from Boulder, where the University of Colorado is located.
Colorado Player of the Year a few years ago.
Yep.
Really a good player with a broken thumb last year. Was redshirted.
He really messed up that hand when he broke that thumb. Second down and 7. Marinovich's pass thrown with some bite on it, and it's complete down to the 8-yard line. Caught by Johnny Morton, his second catch. You know, you look around and you talk about these wideouts and you think, well, you know, that's probably a little bitty guy out there running around. Well, they're not. Morton's 6 feet, 190. Scott 6'2", 200. Wallace is the smaller of the bunch, I guess, 6'1", 175. Wellman is 5'9", 175. And Hanna would be the smallest at 5'8", 160. But the rest of them got good size. They can flat run. Third down and 3. Little shovel pass downfield. Good idea, but the direction was poor in trying to get it to Gary Wellman. He was running hard to his right, being a left-hander. He couldn't square his shoulders, so he just kind of shoveled it down.
Well, he had his first down, but he wanted more. He had more time. He was outside containment. He could have flipped it for the first down, but he wanted the touch and ends up having to kick a field goal.
You see Rodriguez pretty good from inside the 30, huh?
One of the big differences in these two ball clubs, Keith, are their field goal kickers.
This will be a 26-yarder. At O'Hara will put it down. And Rodriguez left-foots it right down the middle of the road, and the Trojans go to the lead 10-7.
Is over. We're talking a brand new season of your funniest home videos yet. Grab the neighbors, wake the kids, and wake your neighbors' kids, because America's Funniest Home Videos is back. Then the laughs continue. From the producer of America's Funniest Home Videos comes America's Funniest People.
America's Funniest Hour begins tomorrow night.
Hey, Chief, KC's coming. The Bronx have set their sights. All my rowdy friends are here on Monday night. Ugh.
It'll be kind of interesting to see as the day wears on how much that particular possession will mean in the outcome of this ball game.
Both teams have moved the ball well. In fact, only 3 possessions for both USC and Penn State.
Point is, Marinovich had his first down. Just
Right.
Keaching got his first down. Make it first and goal. Here's Joe. 25th season. And as I said, we came on the air, a statesman for his profession, and he is.
Really is. He really cares about the university, about college football, about the young men. There are a few of those around. Bo Schembecker, we lost him. I guess he's going to be watching his first Michigan ball game on TV later on.
Halftime, Roger Twibell will have day scores and highlights. We'll have a report from Beth Ruack on some of the juniors who went into the NFL draft and didn't get drafted. And I hope the young people in the future will take a lesson. There was several people out here in the West Coast that didn't get picked. And I mean some good ones. Really good football players. If they'd have stayed in school, probably been first, no worse than second rounders in a year or so. But they're now out of school, and they knew the rules, they knew the chance, and you're not going to get any judge to overturn it. I don't see how it's possible. Gary Brown returns it. He's loose. He had a 95-yarder against Texas, and he almost got loose on that one before Grant Runestrom brought him down. 39 yards on that return.
Both teams have had special special team problems in their first ball games, and they've also had some good things happen on special teams. And Brown, who leads the nation in all-purpose yards, that's kickoff returns, punt returns, catching the ball and running with it from scrimmage, puts the Penn State Nittany Lions in great position.
Leroy Thompson will lose a yard on that carry. This is the best starting point for a Penn State possession here in the first half, and we've got a lot of time remaining. The clock running at 7:50 to go in the first half. Ball resting at the 44-yard line, second down, 11. Intended for Chip LaBarca. Excuse me, Chip LaBarca, sophomore from Bayville, New Jersey. Obviously a speedster. And LaBarca was on the dead run, but the coverage wasn't that bad.
Well, that man there calls the plays. Paterno is the offensive play caller, and he said yesterday, he says, I don't like the nickel and dime stuff. I want to throw it downfield. I want the defense to feel it out when we throw it.
Needed a half a step on that one. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Don Gibson, I think, number 92, was the man that slapped to the side.
Well, Keith, when you're 6'5", you shouldn't get many passes knocked back in your face, as Saka is. It just tells you that he's telegraphing his throws, and his release needs to be a little bit quicker.
BYU now trying to dodge a bullet at home against Washington State. Come back now to trail by only 7. Lockwood and Larry Wallace are the deep people for USC now as Helkowski is in to punt on 4th down for the Lions. Oh, they almost got it. Almost got it. He's only 11 yards back of the snapper, and that just ain't a whole lot of room. And you see number 56, Ryan Tullio, slapping the ground because he thought he was going to get one.
Let's take another look at it. Tullio came unblocked. As you said, he's only 11 yards deep. Usually a team is 14 yards deep. Take a look over here. Watch him as he's going to come free. Tullio, right there, it's just that's not the kicker's fault. Nope. That's just a mix-up in the protection up front.
Yep. Lucky 26-yarder. That damages that first punt of 62. Trojans get it from the 31 and run it in the middle with Ricky Irving. Ricky is 5'8", 190 pounds. And we've gone to the shirt sleeves. I hope you'll excuse us on that because it's a warm place.
You know what that means, Keith, with Southern Cal almost blocking that punt, is that the special teams of Southern Cal, the coaches, understand the blocking and the protection of Penn State on their punts, and they've gotten into their system, and they know now how they can get in there and maybe block a punt later in the ball game.
Second down and 8 with 6:40 to play in the first half. Irvins. He bounced out of there and was going to run to the other side, but the whistles have blown the play dead as Goganis and Mark Flight. New Jersey, New Jersey, New Jersey. There's 24 of them on this year's squad. Last year there were 32. Goganis is shaken up. And Dick Anderson is back on the Penn State staff, and I submit to you that if those 24 New Jersey fellows were up at Rutgers, Dick Anderson would still be up there.
Dick Anderson, the former head coach at Rutgers for the last 6 or 7 years.
That's Dick right there. He was over at Penn State 10, 12 years and went to Rutgers. But the biggest problem you have, Rutgers, of course, is the State University of New Jersey. You can't keep them at home.
Yep.
Yep. They go wandering off to Nebraska and Miami and places like that, and certainly Pitt and Penn State.
Aren't all 3 quarterbacks on the Penn State roster today from New Jersey?
All three of them. Southern California is 4 out of 6 on third down conversions, and they're looking one right now. Third down and 8. Marinovich out of the shotgun. Got some heat from the backside, and the pass is deflected. Incomplete. They'll have to punt it, and it was Tony Matisic looping in. He is from Fairview, New Jersey, and he got a piece of it.
Take a look at it as if you were standing on the sideline. This is the angle that the coaches and players on the side have. So, some of you think the quarterback can see clearly all the time, and there's a lot of bodies in between him and the receiver sometimes.
Big bodies. Who are intent on mayhem. Mondale. Beauty. 20-yard line for Tyson Thomas. Down at the 22. 48-yard punt, 8-yard return. Jackaroo now on the field.
Keith, you were talking about the great coaching that Joe Paterno, the staff that he's assembled. Well, there's one man that's up in the coach's box high above this stadium that a couple of years ago was calling the shots for the Florida Gators. Then, due to the NCAA allegations, he retired or actually resigned from that job. That's Galen Hall. Galen, believe it or not, is now at Penn State going for his master's degree in physical education. The man that called him and said, why don't you become an unpaid graduate assistant so you can stay in football? Joe Paterno.
Galen was the quarterback at Penn State. He was sort of round in, but he was a winner. First down, 28. Leroy can't find any place to run. Scott Ross nailed him down. Could be a loss on the play of a little bit, half a yard or so.
Scott Ross in the middle of your picture takes on the fullback gash, and that's how you play inside linebacker right there. You've got to fight off the blocker. Everybody's going to be somebody's going to be blocking every defensive guy, and then you just go make the tackle.
Saka gets it away down the middle, and it is incomplete, and David Daniels is howling at the back judge for a flag, but won't get it. Howard McCowan covering on the play. Southern California has given the Penn State running game nothing so far, Bob. 11 carries and only 9 yards.
Well, that's their history. They've been stingy in the past, as you take a look at Marinovich on the sideline. Last year, they were the toughest team to run on in the nation. Saka is now 0 for his last 5 passes after starting out very hot.
SC leading 10-7 at 5:09 to go in the first half. He's passing. He throws the Hummer, and Daniels loses the ball. Yeah, Southern California's got it. Julio. You'll want to see this one. I mean, it's Major League pilferage right here.
Well, Paterno has continued to be has problems with turnovers. To the left of your screen, there's 26. That's Daniels. Makes the reception. It was the wide receiver.
He just knocked it out.
Corner was knocked out by Salmon.
Salmon, yep.
Take a look at the pass protection. Good protection. Yeah, Salmon knocked it out. Julio recovered.
And Southern California's got it first down at the Penn State 35-yard line, and Marinovich back trying to cash his chip. Loops it high. Wellman's there. Incomplete, and that's a fine play. I mean, an outstanding play by the Penn State defender, Mark Graham, number 17.
That may be the first play of the game that Graham is in on. Penn State will substitute very readily. They don't have any qualms about putting a guy that has not played at any time in the ball game. They feel very good about their depth, and that time a blitz, he was out there by himself, one-on-one, and he made the play. The pass was a little bit underthrown.
Yeah, if it's a little longer, it's a touchdown. Second down and 10. This time the pass is thrown hard. It goes to Morton, and Morton, who's caught 3 now, reels it in for a Trojan first down inside the 30. No, it's not a first down. It will not be a first down. It's just inside the 29, make it the 28-yard line.
really impressed with this kid Morton, just a redshirt freshman. He was coming into the ball game about the 4th or 5th wide receiver.
Oklahoma. Ooh, look at that. Wow. That's called a tap dance. Well, Sooners might be better than we know. Morenovich's pass is way down the middle, incomplete. Wellman, the intended receiver.
He had a man open in the end zone. Wallace, the wide receiver, was wide open.
What do you think of that, Bob? 21-17 count.
Miami was out here last week to play BYU, went home and had to come all the way back out to play California. I think they're a little bit airsick.
Offense didn't.
They lost that great defense. Did Miami?
Yep, they did. 46-yard field goal try for Rodriguez. It's up and it's on its way, and it's good enough in length and it's good enough in direction. So Quinn Rodriguez pops it through there, and the lead for USC goes to 13-7. 3:59 to go in the first half of play. Monday night, John Elway and the Denver Broncos will take on the Kansas City Chiefs at Mile High Stadium in Denver on ABC's Monday Night Football. Live coverage at 9 Eastern Time. Denver opened the season over here against the Raiders and got beat. Johnny Elway just about expired. He was so hot down on the floor of the stadium, and they chased him all day. He must have run 40 miles.
Kansas City
defense really got after
Kansas City with a big win over Minnesota.
Yep. Well, they've got that Christian Okoye, who's developed into one of the great running backs in the NFL. He came out a little Azusa Pacific down the road here, you know. And it's,
Marty Schottenheimer's done a great job with that team. He's a good coach.
Marty's a good guy. I like him. 3:59 to go in the first half. 13-7, Southern California over Penn State. Gary Brown and Leroy Thompson will be your deep people for Penn State. And Runestrom will tee it up. Brown popped one a little while ago on the last time he had a chance with it, a 39 yards. And he brought some short breath to one side of the stadium here, and he almost got loose with it. Grant Runestrom hits it. Going to Brown. 9-yard line. Got a hole in the middle, but that hole is plugged rather quickly, and he goes down at the 31-yard line, and there Penn State will go to work. In the first quarter, USC went to the lead on a 5-yard catch by Frank Griffin, tight end. Penn State responded to tie at 7-7 as Al Golden reeled in an 8-yarder for a touchdown. Then Quinn Rodriguez, a 26-yard field goal to make it 10-7 Trojans, and just a moment ago, a 46-yarder to make it 13-7 USC.
He needs a Penn State
Second principal offensive show so far for Penn State. That pass intended for Terry Smith, and it is no good. Miami back to the lead in that game up at Berkeley.
The defensive line that the Hurricanes had last year may have been one of the best ever in college football.
Well, one of the guys on that defensive front was a fellow named Greg Mark. He's from New Jersey. To continue on that point, how many good high school players come out of there but go elsewhere? Thompson. Just isn't any place to go for the running game. That's Gibson and Hartsacker nailing him down. Gibson's the man who locked his legs.
Chris Allen is the defensive coordinator for the Trojans, and I was kidding him the other day. I said, after you lost those 9 starters and 4 guys off of that team in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft, we're going to find out if you can coach. He's got a lot of young players, but good talent.
3rd down and 8. Saka hums it, pass caught by Thompson. It'll be a first down. Number 56 was the man that got burned, Brian Tulio. He was trying to cover him coming out of the backfield, and the pass was so hot and well thrown by Saka that Brian couldn't handle it.
Well, that's, I think, Keith, what we're talking about. Penn State needs more short passes to their backs. Throw it short, let them use their speed and ability to turn a short gain into a big gain. Saka having a fine first half.
First down. Southern California 49-yard line. Brown is the tailback. He's got the ball. And down he goes. And talking with Joe yesterday after he arrived from State College, talking about what happened to them in the ball game last week against Texas, and really you boil it down to inexperience.
You know, they got to grow up. I mean, the only way to grow up is you play good football teams and you learn from them. We have a lot of kids that really don't know how to win a big game yet. I think that was obvious against Texas. We had some kids that could have made some plays that didn't make them.
Notice he said, yet. Saka rolls away from the pressure and throws it away. David Daniels was out there, but he was well covered. And rather than take a chance, get rid of it. And besides that, Mike Salmon was a cornerback blitzing from the field side, so he had to roll from there and get rid of it. Call it 3rd down and 8. All over Leroy Thompson.
Hartziker has made several good plays today. He has somewhat of an identity problem because he has red hair just like Todd Marinovich, and he's often asked for his autograph as Todd, and he says, well, I just go ahead and give it. Says, I tell him I'm not. He says, are you really? Are you sure? He says he ends up just going ahead and giving him the autograph.
Easier.
Sure is.
Punting time. Elkowski. Last time they almost got him. Burn the clock. Take 5 yards. Timeouts remaining. State has 3. USC 2. Larry Smith doesn't want them to take the penalty. There's the much celebrated Hollywood sign. Sits up at the foothills. People keep painting, stealing, various and sundry other things.
It's pretty clear day out here.
About it.
Pretty clear day, isn't it, partner? Out here?
Oh, yeah. Huh? Not bad. Kick is away. Fair catch. 12-yard line. Scott Lockwood called for the fair catch at 1:31 to go in the first half. Let's pause 5 seconds for our ABC station. Southern California leading Penn State by a score of 13-7. Trojans have the ball. First down at their own 12. 2 field goals and a touchdown. But there has been a considerable amount of offense despite the relatively low score. Lockwood and Irvins line up now behind Marinovich. Double wide top of the picture. Give the ball to Ricky Irvins. Finds a little daylight on the right side. Rolling along in behind Mark Tucker will pick up about 5 yards. Fourth quarter now, BYU out to a 29-7 lead at one point, and Colorado has taken the lead from Illinois. That is back in Champaign and is one of our other telecasts today. That's Morton going in motion, and the whistle will stop it. Hold the phone, penalty coming up. Frank Griffin, the tight end, I think, was wandering off. Big number 54 walking around there is Lou Benfatti, a sophomore from Green Pond, New Jersey. Number 25, that's Willie Thomas from Coral Springs, Florida. That's down by Fort Lauderdale.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Still second down.
Yep. Tight end, Griffin wandered around. Probably missed the snap count. Sometimes hard to hear.
Sometimes you get slapped upside the head to play before, and you don't.
Right, your ears are ringing.
You're not counting too good.
That's right. Second down and 10. It wipes out the 5-yard pickup by Irvins. Give it back to Rookie. You've got daylight. Bounces to the outside. Penalty flag as he is tackled. So what do we got? Do we have a face mask or do we have a clip? We got a hold on the Trojan. Ricky's having a hard time this season because he had 100 yards against Syracuse and lost 4 very, very late in the game, wound up with 96. He had, 9 games over 100 yards a year ago. So
sure did.
Having trouble getting to the 100.
Led the Pac-10 in rushing in '89, averaging 116 yards a game, was the Rose Bowl MVP.
Well, he's 12 for 34 today, but he just lost 15 yards right here on 2 penalties.
That was the best run that Southern Cal has put together today.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
You know, you're talking about Irvins as you take a look at him right there. Not only together today.
Holding. Offense. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
You know, you're talking about Irvins as you take a look at him right there. Not only is he an excellent runner, led the Pac-10 in rushing, but caught 39 passes last year for Southern Cal. That is the most ever by a running back in Southern Cal history.
A little swing pass, sideline, open field screen here.
Yes, sir. Scored last 2 weeks ago against Syracuse on a screen pass.
Second down, time just about gone in the first half. They've loaded up the right side. They give it to Irvins instead of throwing it to him. And the ball come rolling around, but it's down. Plays dead.
I think he got that ball back, Keith. I think it was out, and it came back to him.
Timeout, Penn State. They stopped the clock with 11 seconds to play in the first half. Lions have one more. Southern California electing not to spend any timeouts here. They lead 13-7 and probably just as happy to go to the clubhouse and get a cold drink of water, leading by 6. 13-7 is not an offensive score at all, but what's happening here is the struggle is still going on down in the trenches as to who's the boss.
For sure.
And it's pronounced.
You know, it's a good football game. It's two solidly coached football teams, fundamentals, playing well in their second game. Still a few mistakes, not a lot, but 2 well-played, well-coached teams. Smith, in his 4th year at USC, has had pretty good success. He's won the Pac-10 3 times in a row. Went to the Rose Bowl, won the Rose Bowl for the first time last year. 2-time Pac-10 Coach of the Year.
You know, he's Joe with his demeanor and Larry with his are they're different personalities, but they both give the impression that if you just look at them from the distance, that they're kind, gentle guys.
They're not yellers, not yellers and screamers,
but they're cranky.
But they know how to catch the attention of their young men.
That's right. They will get after your shirt tail if you caught messing around.
Solid program.
3rd down. Now they're going to run out the clock. They give it to Scott Lockwood. And Lockwood's up to about the 20. And that ought to do it. Time runs out. So at halftime at the Coliseum in Los Angeles, Southern California, 13. And hold it. Penn State, I think, has called a timeout with a second or so to play.
Yeah, they called timeout. They were requesting timeout.
Yeah, they called it.
Joe says 6 seconds. We got 6 seconds.
Well, the clock operator, whoever's running the clock, didn't get it. They're going to give him 3.
He got a Southern Cal shirt on. He said, I'll keep this sucker running.
So now it's 4th down, and you don't figure that Southern California is going to punt it. They're just going to take a snap and sit down with it. That'll do it.
Well, that'd be the smart thing to do. Now, you just want to make sure you run 3 seconds off the clock. The clock will start when the ball is touched.
All you got to do is go to a knee.
They're drawing up something over there. I'm sure they don't want to punt it.
Well, let me say something here, but I have not mentioned it. The fact that O.J. McDuffie, who is one of the outstanding wideouts for Penn State, is not here. And he's hurt. So, you know, that's another factor in the Penn State offense. That's he's an important personality in this whole scheme, and he's not here.
There's your man that controls the clock.
Well, they got the punter in. I'd be very surprised if he punted. Of course, you can snap it through the end zone. All kinds of bad things can happen. He just snaps it out. That makes sense. Snap it to the up man. And he takes off. And he is knocked out of bounds. That's Jeff Cup, the inside linebacker. I thought for a minute that he might take off down the sidelines and score. Lord of mercy, would that send Joe to the to the catalog, huh? Woo. It's halftime. Let us go down on the field and join our colleague, Jack Arute. On a clear day in Los Angeles, it is 13-7. Southern California leading Penn State at halftime, and here are some of the numbers.
First half statistics. The thing that's interesting to me is the rushing yards for Penn State. Only 11 yards rushing and 148 yards passing for Tony Sack. In fact, he's outpassed Todd Marinovich. And one turnover for Penn State. Individually for Penn State, their leaders, Sack is 10 of 18 and 1 touchdown. Thompson's their leading rusher, and Daniels their leading receiver. For Southern Cal, Marinovich is 11 of 19 and 124 with a touchdown. Urbans has 45 yards. And the receivers, Wellman has 3 for 39.
Again, you see an absence of any rushing by Southern California, and it may be told right there, huh?
Defensive leaders, Penn State, Gibbons, the outside linebacker, has 5. And McKenzie, the other outside linebacker, both sophomores, leading the way.
Of course, the Penn State running game shut down, too, by the defense of Southern Cal.
Pace with 6 tackles, and Salmon playing an outstanding ball game.
Travis Hanna and Curtis Conway are deep now for Southern California. They deferred. They won the toss. They get the second half kickoff. Craig Pyack will kick it off for Penn State. Very much in doubt is this issue. 13-7, Southern California leading. This possession right here might be pretty big. Very high kick taken by Hanna back at the 5. Bounces off a tackler and bounces his way past the 30. There it'll be marked first down, Southern California.
Here's a look at what SC did with their possessions in the first half. On the first one, they took 16 plays for a score. Third possession, they scored. Fifth possession, they scored. And then the last one right there before halftime.
Same unit, the start of the ball game, is out there now with Spears at fullback, Urbans at tailback. The wideouts are Wallace and Wellman, with Marinovich taking the snaps at quarterback from Opolsky.
This is where he likes to throw the ball. Heavy on the wide receiver.
Down the middle, got a man. First down, just across the 45-yard line, Larry Wallace. That's the way for a wideout to go down and take the ball down the middle, Bob, and take it sitting down. You don't get beat on.
Well, it's the speed that we talked about, the wide receivers, as BYU has gone ahead again. But the speed from the SC wide receivers is going to get them open downfield. They run the safeties and the corners off and then square it off into the middle of the field.
Time call right here for a moment as a Penn State player is shaken up on the play. It's one of the big guys. I don't think fatigue has entered into it at all because it's not that hot today. And let's spend a moment with Jack Arute.
Well, Keith, just like the first half, the mood in the locker room was very businesslike. On the Penn State side, Coach Joe Paterno cautioned against the fact that on first down they weren't making the necessary yardage, putting their backs to the wall in second and third down situations. Meanwhile, over in the USC locker room, the one thing that Larry Smith told his Chargers was, we've got to play better and we've got to go for a big play. We can't settle for 3 points like we did in the first half.
Lou Benfatti came out of the ball game, and Tony Matisic has replaced him. Lockwood goes to fullback for Southern California. Swing pass out to Irvins. He cuts back away from the traffic. Finds a little working room, not enough to write home about. In fact, he just barely got back to the line of scrimmage. He'll have at the most a yard. But he was trying to cut against the grain there and find a crack where there wasn't one.
But it's a nice play. I like it because you give an opportunity for your fast back to do something with it. Take a look at the completion distribution of Marinovich. 9 to the wide receivers, only 1 to the tight end, and only 3 to the running backs, and that's for a -1 yard. So big yardage is going to the wide receivers.
Martin is in and Wallace is out on the boundary side, receiver position. Marinovich back to throw it. He's got Martin wide open. Drops the ball, incomplete, forward pass, didn't have it. Perry came over and belted him, and he never really got a handle on it, but he had him a long time before he saw him.
Well, you see it. Marinovich had to wait till he cleared past 47 right there. That's right. And when you wait that long, then the defensive back is right there to hit you right when you're catching the football.
Yeah, he was wide open, though, before he got in the neighborhood of 47, and Todd was still in the process of trying to set up.
Before he hit the right, the 47, he should have thrown it. But when you wait that long, then there's a bunch of guys coming at you.
And they really hit him. Shotgun now on 3rd down and 10. They burned the clock.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Second half, what does Penn State do on the first, 3rd and long situation? Look at these linebackers, these 4 here. Watch them as they're all going to blitz. They must have talked in the locker room. We need to put more pressure on him. Look at the linebackers, 8-man coming, only 3 deep. They talked about in the locker room was, we need to put pressure on Marinovich. First, 3rd and long, here they come, and they look like they may do it again.
3rd and 15, good time. Number 99, Rich McKenzie. Back on the 32-yard line.
Well, no blitz that time, but McKenzie got it done on his own.
Sue Paterno has helped with the tutoring of that youngster. He's settling in and finding a place. Rondale the punt. No pressure. Long, low driving kick to Tyson Thomas. Back across the 15 to the 16-yard line. 53-yard punt. 11-yard return. Onisaka from Del Island, New Jersey. Gonna throw. Keep coming. Breaks the tackle. Pass away. Wide open Sam Gash. Big play Lions. First down, Southern California, 36-yard line. Craig Hartsacker had Saka, but couldn't hold him. He picks up 38 yards.
Well, Hartsacker's going to come from the right side on a little twist. I'll tell you, Saka's just making all kinds of plays. Shakes loose, and now the defensive backs in the secondary aren't responsible to cover that long when they see something going up there. Gash gets himself open, and Saka makes the big play.
First down for the Lions. And he rolls it to the right, wide side of the field, and throws behind the intended receiver. Rick Sales, the tight end. Sales was in between defenders and was available, but on the dead run like that, it's hard You know, I keep hearing people say that, well, he throws better on the run. I don't believe that.
Well, he's thrown pretty well anywhere you got him today. He's
Well, that's
missed
right.
a few,
but still, throwing on the dead run with a 270-pounder breathing down your neck doesn't necessarily help your accuracy. Little delay into the fullback gash. And he reaches the 32 before he's brought down. Well, the Brigham Young Cougars have had to salt that one away, it looks like. I'd be kind of surprised if anybody beats him the rest of the way until they get in the bowl. So Wyoming looks like they might be a pretty tough customer in that WAC conference this year. It's third down. Call it 6 for Penn State. 13-7, Southern California leading. Lofted toward the end zone. Incomplete, intended for David Daniels. And it'll bring up 4th down. Mike Salmon covering on the play. We've had a change since the outset of the ball game in the defensive secondary. In the movement of Pace and Holmes and Salmon and company. McCowan is in there, and Holmes, I guess, is out of it, isn't he, right now?
Well, Holmes was the starter at the beginning of the second half, but he was out of there most of the first half after starting.
He's back right now.
Yeah.
Got a punt. Elkowski trying to pooch it. That'll go in the end zone. It'll be Southern California's ball, first down up to 20. 11:35 to go, third quarter. The Trojans leading in the ball game, 13-7.
Think that there'll be a little payback coming when it's...
Oh, well, we saw that 2 years ago.
Yeah,
they got him then. Southern California's ball, first down now at their own 20. They lead 13-7. Let's see what's been concocted in the clubhouse. Pitch to the tailback. Ain't nothing different there. Pick up of 2 yards on the play, and Todd Berger, the nose guard, stacks it up. Dodgers ain't home. They're playing in Cincinnati. Won big last night behind Fernando Valenzuela and a grand slam home run by Cal Daniels, who really enjoyed it since he had started the season in Cincinnati. But Reds have been a good ball club all season long. Lou Benfatti, who was shaken up earlier, has come back to the ball game for Penn State. Handoff is to Scott Lockwood out of the fullback position, and Scott's up across the 25 near the 26. Dodgers, of course, really need to sweep in Cincinnati if they are to become a viable factor and to close down the National League West. Oh, it's hard to sweep Cincinnati. Lou Piniella there doing his managing for the first season and done a fine job. Wellman to the bottom of the picture, Morton to the top of the picture, Irvin's the lone remaining back. Third down and about 4.5. Marinovich has got nobody to throw to. Now he unloads it, and it's incomplete. Morton had come back to try to, Yanni Jackson it was, had come back to try to help him out because Penn State was about to hog-tie Marinovich and hang him from a tall tree. And there was just absolutely nobody available.
Good coverage and good pressure by Penn State defensively. It's a big series, the first series out on the field after halftime. And Penn State wins it.
So Dale is in to punt now.
Dale for formation.
Didn't quite get it to turn over. Kind of wobbled down to the 35-yard line where Tyson Thomas makes a fair catch. 39-yard punt. Here's Jackaroot.
Keith, Tracy Marinovich here is Todd's older sister, and she's a teacher in Palmdale, California. And Tracy, you enlisted your little brother to come to school and talk to your kids and get them excited about football.
The kids all year waited for Todd to come, and it was the highlight of the year. It really was. And it was a good opportunity to get the kids linked up with how sports and academics is connected, and they just loved it. And Todd was great with the kids.
All right, how tough is it to be the sister of a guy from Sports Illustrated? We'll have to find out later.
Oh, bother in Palmdale. 35-30, just over the 35-yard line. And a penalty flag as we get a penalty. Well, I think Brian O'Neill here is starting to wander around a little bit. Jack, you got something else?
Well, let's get the answer. Your brother's been on this cover of Sports Illustrated, all this TV coverage. Is it tough to be the older sister of a hero?
Not at all. It's great. I hear it everywhere I go. Are you Todd Marinovich's sister? Yes, and I'm proud of it. It's great. It's wonderful.
And Keith, she's a USC graduate as well.
Of course she is. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Marv's not going to have any truck with anybody in that family going in place out. Saka back to throw it. He wants Daniels. He goes underneath. And the pass is incomplete, and the pass was intended for O'Neill, the fullback. So the BYU Cougars finally win over the Washington State Cougars by 14. But it wasn't easy.
Got the wake-up call a little late, didn't they?
I'm gonna go home and call Lavelle. What he got to say after that, he's probably winded. 9:57 to go in the third quarter. Saka back. Steps away from the pressure and hits his man. That's Brown. And Gary Brown is wrestled down at the Southern California 46-yard line. First down, Penn State. Saka is getting some time now, and he's making it work.
One of the reasons, top of your screen, number 64 is McCartan, Matt McCartan. He came over from SMU 3 years ago when the school was put on probation in their football program, got the death penalty. Matt McCartan, the only returning starting lineman in that offensive front.
O'Neill carries and gets maybe 3 down to about the 43-yard line. Well, I called McDaniel's name once early on. I called Gibson's name twice, Rouget once. So that tells you the Penn State offensive front's doing a pretty good job.
Well, they are, but they're not moving them out. Penn State is not getting a lot of rushing yardage. It's the linebackers for SC that are making the tackles, but Penn State, whenever they're making the yardage, is going through the air. 11 yards rushing at halftime.
Saka's pass down the sideline for Brown, just a little high. Gary was walking the tightrope and couldn't get the ball and stay in at the same time.
It's an excellent throw. Throws it over the defensive back's head. You can't put it any better. Receiver had both feet in bounds, just catch the ball.
Saka now is 12 for 24, 205 yards and a touchdown. We've had no interception so far. Pressure coming, Salmon, and hits him as he throws, and the pass is incomplete. Defending downfield, Calvin Holmes. They took Calvin out in the first half. Looked like it made him mad.
Well, they wanted to put pressure on Saka because he's hurting him. Take a look over here, number 24. That's the defensive back. That's the corner, Salmon. You don't normally get corners and strong safeties blitzing. He forced the throw early and the incompletion.
Elkowski in the punt. Ball rolling around. Penn State's going to kill it inside the 10. Lockwood was back there, and it looks like it was a tail dragger headed for the end zone, but it didn't. It stopped on the 8-yard line. It's first down, Southern California. Southern California now starts with its goal line at its back, first down from their own 8-yard line. They lead by 6, 13-7. 8 minutes and 41 seconds to play in the third quarter. Marinovich throws. He's got Wellman. He's got a first down out across the 25. Make it the 27, and Penn State's kind of lucky in a way. He didn't get 6. They had Mark Graham and Darren Perry back there, but if Marinovich has a little more time and they hook up, goodbye.
Well, both quarterbacks are getting more time by getting outside the pocket. They're breaking containment, and they're getting out on the corner, and they're both throwing the ball very well.
Now they got some real estate on which to run around, and Wallace goes in motion, and they give it to Irvin. The Honda Scholar Athlete this week, brought to you by American Honda, proud to support amateur athletics. This week's award goes to Greg Fry, the senior quarterback from Ohio State University. 11 of 23 in his opener for 149 yards, the win over Texas Tech, and they won again today. So Honda will present a check for $2,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of Ohio State University in the name of Greg Fry, grade point 3.1 in business. Marinovich back, steps up, gets his pass away, caught. Wellman pulled it down, and Marinovich was sandwiched, hammered, but he had just enough on it to get it to Wellman. McKenzie was the guy that was beating on him.
Marinovich did the small things there that you don't really teach quarterbacks, and that is move around within the pocket just to buy a little bit more time. Your protection all the time is not going to be perfect. You may need to slide to your left or right, and you just more often than not, you feel that. You just don't see it, you feel it.
Wellman getting a spot of water. First down for the Trojans. The ball is at the 37. They lead 13-7 here in the third quarter. We got two tight ends over here at the bottom of the picture now, and Irvin's just trying to go that way, but cuts it back into the middle. And Willie Thomas, Jim Dieter. Dieter got a piece of him as he went by, and Willie Thomas was there to fill the hole. Really, for the first time today, it looked like Irvin's was going to break out.
For the most part, Southern Cal rushing has been shut down. Both teams defensively have done well stopping the other team's running attack. D'Onofrio, number 38. It's a leading returning tackler from last year's ball club, and also led him in sacks last year with 11.
Fullback, Spears. Little quick pop. That's close to a first down.
What you're seeing here, Keith, is a tough physical ball game. Southern Cal has always been known offensively as a power eye running team. They like to run strong side behind the big offensive linemen. And Penn State is shutting that down. They have always been known as a tough physical team.
It was the first down near the 48 on the FC side of the field. Marinovich sees something, checks off. Changes play, throws sideline. That's good to Wellman.
That's the play to Gary Wellman.
Caught the ball inside of Humphreys. Pickup is about 6. It'll be second down 4. Humphreys out now. Graham back in for Penn State. What Oklahoma did to Pittsburgh.
We saw him last week against UCLA. That should make Terry Donahue feel a little bit better.
They got some tough guys at Oklahoma. I mean, the big guys along both the offensive and defensive front are really good. This is Irvin. And Ricky goes to the 35 of Penn State.
Both of these schools have had great running backs, and that's right there. Here, take a look at USC, their tradition. Mike Garrett, Simpson, Anthony Davis, Ricky Bell. 4 Heisman Trophy winners in that group. That was an option play. The first time we've seen the option today, Keith, with Marinovich pitching it to Irvin. We may see a little bit more of that because it seemed to work pretty well.
Todd didn't really keep it very long.
I wouldn't either.
Gets his pass off. It's good. Wellman having a big day.
Marinovich on the right, the play action, and Wellman is going to go down and then break out to the deep corner. Marinovich throws this ball a little bit late because he's got a problem back there with some white shirts, but this is why it kind of floats. Wellman does a nice job of getting his left foot inbounds before he steps out of bounds.
Inside the 20, 16-yard line of Penn State, first down, Southern California. Marinovich pass, good. Not a lot of yardage on it. But Joel Scott takes it down to about the 11. Another 5-second pause for our ABC stations to identify themselves. Second down and 6. Southern California leading 13-7. 4:59 to play third quarter, and right now bidding for very big points in a tough ball game. Irvin's up the middle.
Ricky Irvins.
He's inside the 8. He's got to go to the 6. It'll be third down.
They call him Pinball Wizard. He's not very tall, 5'8", about 190. He's pretty fast at 4'4" on the 40, and he can bench press over 365 pounds. So
it's huge legs, really strong legs.
Started at the beginning of last year as the number 3 tailback on the roster.
Ball on the 7, 3rd and 2.
Option. Irvin. Depends on the spot if he got the first down.
It didn't take him long to get that option play back in there after it worked a little bit on about 3 plays ago.
D'Onofrio was over there trying to drag him back, but it looks like he got a pretty good spot. So the chains are coming on. You know, Penn State, which is headed for the Big Ten Conference, has ended its Notre Dame series after the 92 season. They'll play Iowa in 93. I wouldn't be surprised to see some more changes made in that area, too.
Yeah.
It'll be close. He got it. The 12th play in this possession coming up. It started back on their 8-yard line.
Great drive. Whether they score or not, of course, you'd love to see a score if you're a Southern Cal fan, but just taking the ball down the field.
Colorado must have gotten a safety. There was 17-17 a while ago. Against that Champaign. Illinois was kicked sideways last week by Arizona in Tucson. First and goal. Fullback. Raul Spears to the 4, 2 yards.
To the 4.
Sports Arena is that lemon meringue pie you see over there. Way back out yonder is Palos Verdes. The blimp is Columbia from Carson. Johnny Creighton up there flying it around. Goodyear blimps traveling over 100,000 miles every year. All manner of events, including the major sporting events in North America. Second down goal. Marinovich is hit and taken down by...
Marinovich on a keeper.
Yeah, I thought it was 37.
Loss of 1 yard on the play.
It was. Number 37, Ivory Gathers, an inside linebacker in goal line defense. And Ivory got his man. So it's third down and goal from the 5, and USC's got to be making some changes here. Now, Yanni Jackson, 88, is the tight end. Griffin, 87, is the other tight end. Spears and Irvin stay there. Wellman goes wide to the top of the picture. Marinovich keeps it and takes off. He's got Gathers after him, and they're not going to give him the 6 on it. He hit the pylon in the corner, knocked it loose. They're not going to give him the touchdown.
Well, you see right there some of the competitiveness of Marinovich. He's going to stick the ball out and see if it breaks the plane of the end zone. It's awfully close. Did his knee hit first, or does the ball get in before he hits the ground?
I think he's out of bounds. Just short.
No, his knees hit. Knees hit first, and then the ball went over. See, his knees are down before the ball's across. Good call.
Yep. 4th down, they're going to go. This is a crusher drive. If it works, it'll be 92 yards. Irvin in there. Touchdown.
Look at Irvin's getting the ball deep so he can see where he wants to jump. D'Onofrio jumps where he thinks he's going. Irvin sees him going, and he jumps away from him, jumps over the pile. What a big drive, a big momentum booster for the Trojans, and a tough one to overcome for Penn State.
They're going for 2. They go 92 yards, and they just hammered on them. So, this is... It's a kind of a possession that's really gut-checked down.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm saying it's a big boost for Southern Cal to take it that far against a quality defense and then get it in the end zone.
He got a timeout by Southern California.
John Matzo, the offensive coordinator. Take a look. Watch 38. D'Onofrio, he says, I'm jumping here, and Irvin sees that and jumps where the gap is to our right side of D'Onofrio, number 38.
That's why guys like O.J. and Mike Garrett and Marcus Allen and those kind of people have had the careers they had here at Southern California, because they do get the ball deeper and it gives them a chance to do this.
It's a very key point. The quarterback should get the ball to them as deep as they possibly can. And there, another thing, good vision by the back. He saw where the men were, and he saw where the opening was.
Ought to keep your head up.
Take another look at it from D'Onofrio, 38. See what he sees. Ground level. Now, he just sees the top of him. Irvin's is only 5'8". He says, I got to commit before he jumps. That's just good effort by D'Onofrio and by Irvin.
15 plays, 92 yards, and it is 6 minutes and 31 seconds, according to our statistician, David Burnson. That is the second long drive, time-consuming drive. The first score for Southern California, they used over 8 minutes and just pounded it and ground it down the field. 2:10 to go in the 3rd quarter now. They're going for 2.
Look for something out here on the flat, maybe a pick. We get this many receivers out here, 2 coming in and 1 going out, maybe.
Well, man that made the play is number 35 for Penn State. Didn't let him get into the end zone. That's Derek Bona. Derek Bona. Bona is a true freshman, and I think has about 4 or 5 tackles in the ball game today.
Well, here's what they wanted to do, and this is what I kind of thought. 2 men coming in to cause a traffic problem, and they want to get the ball to the inside man breaking out. He really is open. If Marinovich would give him the ball, he breaks to the outside. If he hit him right now with the football, I think he could get in, but the corner hangs outside. Todd thinks better of it and takes off running. He almost has an option set up where he pitch it back to the back. He may have a chance at it.
Well, if he had, if he'd have pitched it to that trailer, yeah, been there. 19-7, Southern California. Every time I see that white horse running around the Coliseum, I think of Ara Parsiga.
I knew you were going to say that.
Ara hates that white horse.
Why?
And I don't blame him. If I was wearing his shoes, I guarantee you I'd feel the same way.
Why does he hate it? Why does Ara hate that horse?
Oh, well, he had a couple of hard trips out here, and that horse wore out a pair of shoes, one of them. Grant Runnerstrom to kick it off. Ball fell off the tee. We've still got 2:10 to go in the third quarter. Now it's Penn State's play.
Penn State needs to come back with something in this next drive offensively.
Their deal.
To counter them.
That's a very poor kick. Up at the 24-yard line where it is picked up by Brian Mazur. And a reserve fullback gets it up across near the 35. Let's go to Roger Twyble. Roger.
Thank you very much, Keith. You were right. There was a safety by Colorado, but before that, 3rd and goal, ball at the 4, Jason Verduzco. He'll find Sean Wax. Look at that catch for the touchdown. That tied it at 17, but it's now 19-17. Let's go back to Keith.
All right, it looks like a grinder, too, doesn't it? All right, let's see what Penn State can do here. Just short of the 35. They've got some field position to work with. They try one up the middle with Leroy Thompson, and there is no daylight behind that door. Second down and 10. Saka, pressure, runs away from, passes away, intercepted. First interception of the day on either quarterback by Stephon Pace. And Pace is finally knocked down at the 48-yard line of Penn State. And a penalty flag. So there might be a little rough stuff at the end of that play.
Paterno has been plagued by mistakes last week especially. We'll take a look at last week's miscues. 13 penalties. He had 2 kicks blocked, a block punt, a missed field goal, a lost fumble, and allowed an 88-yard kickoff return. It hasn't been as bad this week, but still some turnovers.
Well, you got a holding call right here against Southern California after the interception.
The ball remains with Southern Cal. Saka, back to pass, is being rushed from his left. Moves around, good mobility. That's Hartsiker again.
Holding on the run back. We will administer clipping on the run back, 15 yards. First down.
All right, you've Southern California just gone 92 yards in 15 plays. The end of the third quarter's coming up. The Penn State defense got to be getting a little weary.
Well, they do. They need some pickup from their offense, and they're not getting it. Offensively, Penn State has not done anything the last 6 times they've had the football. Craig Hartsiker, the outside linebacker, really caused that interception because he put pressure on Saka.
Toughest job in town is trying to rush your passer. And wears you right down to the nub faster than almost anything. The ball resting at the 29-yard line after that penalty. First down, Southern California. 1:20 to go, third quarter. Ricky Irving. 3 yards, that'll do it. Brett Wright, Darren Perry combining. Hayden Fry had all winter to sit around and stew and kick the barrel and wonder and fuss and worry. And when you give Hayden a winter off to just sit and fuss, he can be a problem. And he may very well be a problem in that Big Ten this year with those Iowa Hawkeyes. Lockwood. Got to get it up to over the 39, short of the 40 for their first down, and they're looking now at third and about 4. There's Missouri now. Missouri was handled last week. I mean, you see teams that have trouble scoring one week this season, and all of a sudden, boom. Now, Louisville went for 60 points last week.
Kansas is showing some signs of life.
Louisville opened the season out at San Jose with a 10-10 tie. I'm sure it didn't make Howard very happy. 3rd and 4. Quarter's over. So we got 15 minutes to go. We'll be back with more from the Coliseum of Los Angeles after this message and a word from our ABC station. Down the street a ways from the Coliseum, where so many events of international note have occurred in times past. And we go down to the final period of play. Southern California leading 19-7, and they have the football on 3rd down. Marinovich back to throw it, gets it away down the middle, and it is caught by Frank Griffin, the tight end, who seemingly took the ball away from Brett Wright, and now the laundry is all over the place. And I think everybody got to throw their flag on that.
That was a late hit by Moody, 72. Came flying over the pile.
Third quarter, I think the numbers in that period will tell you a lot about what's going on.
This is just what happened. The time of possession for Penn State, only 3 minutes and 20 seconds for 11:40. USC had that long drive, 24 plays to 11 for SC.
Plus a turnover. They're sorting it out and placing the marker after the penalty, and it's going to go all the way back inside the 30-yard line, where it's going to be 1st down and 25.
You know, Keith, looking at that time of possession for the 3rd quarter, heavy in favor of Southern Cal, what that does is it wears down the Penn State defense, although it doesn't appear as though they've got any quit in them.
No.
Paterno has certainly substituted very freely.
You got quit in you. You ain't wearing a white hat.
And they're flying all over the place.
You're not getting your mail at State College. You got some of that in. This is Ricky Irvin trying to bounce outside, and Ricky can't find any room. They're still running with gusto as McKenzie and Bona get him down. Tulane jumped all over the ponies after the ponies had won last week over Vandy. Now Wyoming wins again. There's the State University of New Jersey beating Colgate. Jim Young going to quit at Army, going to retire after this season. Marinovich throws to Wellman. Gary down the sideline.
Pass complete to Gary Wellman.
Well, I'll tell you what, folks, you'll never know how close that was to being 6. I mean, it was maybe a step, maybe less. But the point is, it wasn't.
This is one of the areas where Southern Cal wanted to attack. The Penn State defense was in the strong side flat, thinking that they could get some passing done out there because of the overshift in the run defense. The 8-man front for Penn State.
Third down, starting at 1st and 25. It's now 3rd down and 8. Marinovich is sacked back at the 35. Ivory gathered. Number 37, and I wouldn't be surprised with what Ivory has now sold the folks on the sidelines for more playing time next week.
Well, they've got some fine athletes, and you know, Penn State, Keith, plays more people than anybody I've ever seen. They play about 6 or 7 linebackers, the same amount of defensive linemen. They play 8 or 9 defensive backs in a ball game.
And a lot of the time, they play different positions. They don't always go to the same place. Punting time for Dale. Lions come after him. He knocks it out of there, gets a lot of spin on it. But it still doesn't take a good bounce for him. It bounces straight up and dives right at the 39-yard line for only a 26-yard punt. 13 minutes to play. That pretty much tells you the story. And the third quarter particularly belonged to Southern California.
To look at the last 7 possessions for Penn State, they started off the game in fine fashion. 5 punts, a fumble, and an interception.
Gary Brown is now at tailback for the Lions. And Smith in motion. Brown with the ball to the boundary side. Hit first by Howard McCowan, redshirt freshman out of Carson, California, who got very busy in the ball game as of the second quarter. Gain of a couple of yards. Second down and 8. Back to throw. Passes away to the sidelines. Pass is caught by Gary Brown and tumbles out of bounds close to a first down. Let's go for a moment to Jackaroo.
And Keith, the man next to me is the outstanding track coach at the University of Southern California, Jim Bush. And Jim, you watch with a lot of interest both the offense and the defense here at Southern Cal.
Right. I come out to watch them in practice and watch the game so I can see my track team.
Most of your track team does compete here. Now, Calvin Holmes is your leadoff runner.
In the sprint relay, my sprint relay, all 4 of them are here. In fact, the 2 alternates are also here. The mile relay is also here. My hurler's here. My javelin thrower, my discus thrower.
So he's got a lot at stake. And you know what, Keith? It's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Jim.
Thank you very much.
And an old friend. He became world famous, literally, as the track field coach over at UCLA. Coached the Bruins to all manner of lofty things. Involved with producing so many Olympians, and took some time off and suddenly found the appetite to coach again, and now he's here at Southern California. Looks great. So the Nittany Lions now trying to crank up something with this first down at the Southern California 49-yard line. Tony Sacca's pass is good. Pulled in by Rick Sales, and Sales is reeled in down near the 40-yard line. But the presence of Jim Bush and what he just told you about the number of people involved in the track program being part of the football team helps explain why there's so much speed now available to Larry Smith and his staff. Plus the fact that you've got one of the great teachers in the world as far as showing people how to go faster with their feet.
Well, he worked with Scott Ross, the linebacker, this past summer.
Yep. It's second down and 2. There goes Brown. Missed by 2 and still going. Gary Brown is inside the 10, first and goal. Penn State at the 9, and 3 Trojans didn't tackle him. Had hands on him and couldn't hold him, and Howard McCowan finally brought him down.
So look at some of the outstanding running backs at Penn State. Heisman Trophy winner Capoletti, some Hall of Famers in Franco Harris and Lenny Moore, first-round draft choices. But you look at Gary Brown, he has the speed that Thompson does not have at that position.
First and goal Lions. They trail 19-7. A lot of time left in the ball game. Brown has it again. Missed by another Trojan. Heading for the corner. Don't give it to him. Just short. 6 inches. Stephon Pace kept him out of the end zone.
Gary Brown has put some spark back into this Penn State offense. Last year he was a defensive back. Switched over to offense. He played offense in 88, defense in 89, and offense again this year.
The fullback gashed, and he's not going to get in.
He lost the ball, too.
Yeah, Brian Tullio, number 56, made the penetration, took away his momentum, and then they were able to slam him down. He might have lost a little bit. Not enough to matter. It's still about a foot. They were wandering around. Gary Brown had a little trouble getting himself in the right place to lead the blocking. Thompson is in now, and Brown is out at tailback. Thompson. They're asking for the TD, and they don't get it. Linesman making the mark, wouldn't give it to him.
Scott Ross, the middle linebacker, is going to slow this play up. He gets into the backfield right there, doesn't make the tackle, but slows him up enough that the rest of the USC defense can get there.
So they're just short. It was first and goal at the 9, and now it's fourth down at about a foot, and they're talking. Rolling out, all over him, ball loose. Incomplete forward pass. Southern California takes over.
Take a look at the red shirts. They come across. They're on the offensive side of the line. Everybody's coming. McCowan, number 7. Hartsiker, Barber, all the linebackers, all the DBs. Nothing slow will work in this instance. You got to go hard and right at them. Take a look at number 2. Number 98, 56 is Tullio. Everybody's on the offensive side of the line of scrimmage. Poor series inside the 5-yard line for Penn State.
I don't understand that call. I don't understand it. The ball is just short of the goal line, about a foot away, and that's where Southern California possesses it now for first down. And Marinovich takes the snap and just rides the rump of Opolskas for as much as he can get. And there's a penalty flag. Right on the goal line.
Well, you've got to give credit. We'll get the call here.
Dead ball, delay the game, offense.
Big deal. 4-inch penalty. Chevrolet players will be announced toward the end of the ball game, as soon as we can figure out who they might be.
You got to give credit to the SC defense for stopping Penn State, but
yeah, but I don't know. I got I got to send my tailback flying.
You got to the second and third down plays. You got to give it to straight ahead stuff, quick stuff. It cannot be anything slow because the defense is coming very quickly across the line of scrimmage.
Second down. They'll make it first down after the penalty, and this will be good for a carry out to about the 3 by Spears, the fullback. One of the things you don't especially like to do, of course, when you're down here in this kind of a ball game is be handing the ball around either, you know, because you drop it, the other guys jump it, and you may not be able to deny them a second successive time.
Well, Southern Cal's goal line defense, obviously much better than Penn State's goal line offense. And when you get down inside the 5-yard line, it's just aggressiveness and who wants it the worst.
Titus Tuiasosopo is in there right now, snapping the ball. Here's a pass out of the end zone. Oh, my goodness, he overthrew him. Larry Wallace was on his way home, and the only person on the field that had a shot at him would have been Willie Thomas. And Willie, with his speed, probably could have caught him with the ankle, but Marinovich just missed him. Titus Tuiasosopo is, of course, the cousin of Manu Tuiasosopo, who was a great player over at UCLA. sure it ain't quit.
Well, they haven't quit, and they're going to get the ball back in pretty good field position. What that goal line stand did was negate the good running of Brown on that last series by Penn State.
Tyson Thomas and Terry Smith will go back now for Penn State as Dale comes in to do the punting. And as the two receivers, you see them looking into the sun. So at this time of year, or this time of day, they're kind of looking right at it. It's very bright. Dale out of the end zone. That's Tyson Thomas at the 42. To the 31, and Penn State is still knocking on the door. Time remaining, 7 minutes, 54 seconds. USC leads by 12.
If you have an insurance repair on your home and you have Allstate, it's in our hands. We know some very reliable contractors. It's our business too. So if you choose a contractor we recommend, we guarantee the workmanship of their repairs for 1 year. That's why you're in good hands with Allstate. A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Think about it. There are thousands of building products in there. So which do you ask for? Just ask for Georgia Pacific. Even if you forget that our southern... Even if steam cured and solid lineal are Greek to you, just remember that every GP product has superior performance built in. So if ceramic-coated granules or Acroglass top coat seem impossible to remember, just ask for Georgia Pacific. That's all you need to know.
Did you know only 1-800-SERVICE can move more merchandise? 1-800-SERVICE connects calls 25% faster and has the fewest blocked calls. AT&T 800-SERVICE. Our superior performance gets more calls through so you can make more sales. 800 calls that get through. Another AT&T advantage. Pick up your sales. Get free installation on domestic AT&T 800-SERVICE.
Did you know that 4 of the 7 California Supreme Court justices are graduated of the USC Law Center, including the Chief Justice? Mr. Justice Huffman retired earlier this year. 3 remain. From the 31 of Southern California now, Penn State goes back to the attack. The defensive guys did their job. They kept them pinned up, gave the offense the ball, good field position. Saka chased out of the pocket, delivers. Bad pass. Trying to get it to Smith, couldn't do it. Our ABC NFL Monday Night Football presentation. Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Mile High Stadium on Monday night. 9 Eastern time. Did you ever play at Mile High?
Yes, many times.
You get winded?
It didn't affect me much. I wasn't running around a lot. Maybe some of those other guys.
Be a good matchup. We'll find out about the Chiefs. It looks like Schottenheimer and Marty is trying to get those guys cranked up. This is Sam Gash right here, the fullback, trying to get the Penn State offense cranked up. Only problem he had was Scott Ross was beating on him.
2 inside linebackers, 35 right here. Ross plays off the blocker so well.
And then Kurt Barber comes across, puts a hit on him. So it is 3rd down and 7. Saka throwing. Oh, caught! How in the world did it get there? David Daniels makes the catch. That Stephon Pace went flying through the air. Remarkable concentration by Daniels to catch the ball.
Take a look at it, what it would be if you were the safety here. Ground level. Pace just misses the ball. Good concentration, as you mentioned, inside the 5.
First and goal from the 3 for Penn State. They were down on the 9, first and goal, and couldn't score. Give it to Leroy Thompson. He may know. He didn't make it think. He didn't get an inch. Tulio. Willig and Webb were the hitters.
You know, this SC defense against the run last year was the toughest in the nation. And today, they've only given up 67 yards. I think Penn State ought to try something through the air on the second and third down.
Brown is in at tailback. Brown has it. Running wide, he gets a yard. Again, Ross had penetration.
Too much quickness and speed up front for Southern Cal. Defensively, they move laterally very well, and they're strong enough up front.
Give that tackle to Gibson. Ball is at the 2. Third down and goal. Brown out, Thompson back. Brings the play with him. Touchdown. Leroy Thompson, 205-pounder, got outside where Stephon Pace, 190-pounder, had to take him on, and Thompson won.
You go to a passing formation. Southern Cal now thinks pass, and Penn State comes back with a run. Good block on Hartsiker, number 40. As you mentioned, the big back on the free safety has to come a long angle, and Penn State wins the battle and scores the touchdown.
To attempt the point after.
Bayek. Nardolillo will put it down. Matt gets a good snap, gets it on the tee, and Craig Bayek makes the kick good. 1 tick, less than 5 minutes to play, and it's a 5-point ball game. It's terrific to go for a riding one. It really is.
Well, that drive right there was an extension of the drive previous to that where they didn't get in the end zone because they stopped Southern Cal on 3 plays, made them punt, and then they continued it.
Well, the heat, though, has now shifted, hasn't it?
The heat is definitely on Southern Cal. The momentum is back with Penn State, and Southern Cal needs to make some first downs, and at least if they don't score, and take some time off the clock.
Travis Hanna, Curtis Conway are the deep people for SC now. And Craig Bayek will kick it off. That's a high hanger. Hanna, 6-yard line. He was almost beheaded, but he's a tough little guy. He bangs his way on out near the 20, but they're going to mark him down at the 18. Young Riders unite, saddling up on Saturday night for the first time. Special 2-hour movie with guest star David Soul. That's tonight, 8 o'clock, 7 Central, here on ABC. Well, that's not exactly high cotton field position here for Southern California. They lead 19-14, but they have got to protect themselves here. Illinois has gone to the lead over Colorado, as you see, late in that ball game, and California is now on a 7 behind Miami. And Ricky Irvins will be stopped short of the line of scrimmage, a loss of 2 yards back to the 16.
Early in the season, 2 teams, they don't really know how good they are. Both coaches said, we're average teams, but we're going to get better. Going through a little bit of a crisis right here on both sidelines.
Second down, 12. Marinovich pass almost intercepted. Keith Goganis had the ball on his hand and didn't catch it. And linebackers aren't receivers.
Here's Goganis here, Keith. Their pass is going to be an out. Now watch him as he drops and almost cuts in front of him. This would have been 6 points the other way. Marinovich probably didn't see him, because if he saw him, he would never have thrown it.
4:10 to play in the ball game. 3rd and 12, Southern California. from their own 16-yard line. Marinovich throwing, passes away, down the middle, caught. Good for a first down at the 33-yard line. Gary Wellman.
Had to throw it between a linebacker and a defensive back with a lineman in his face. What did Marinovich say to us yesterday, Keith? He said, when it gets to be crunch time, I look for 83. Big play right there.
I'm not sure he had both handles on the ball either. But he's got his first down, and it was a huge play. Fullback, Spears. Maybe one.
You know, looking at those Penn State uniforms, the all-white.
Yeah, let's correct the score that came up on the computer. It's 1-point lead, Illinois, 23-22, not 25.
You know, Keith, you take a look at the uniforms. You know, they're all white. They're not flashy. They wear black shoes, nothing on their helmets. You think they're slow. They can't move. They're not very agile. I think Paterno likes that kind of image.
Of course he does. That's exactly why he does it. I first met Joe and knew him when he was Rip Ingles' assistant there. I'll tell you what. He's a great coach. He's a great teacher. He's a fine man. He's cranky, downright grumpy sometimes, but always clever. Clever. Crafty. He prepares his team very well, but at the same time, very simple. Yeah. Basically, very simple. Third down. Marinovich dodges one, gets it off. Ball is caught, but it's only to the 40. That's 2.5 yards short of the first down. Kicking team had started on the field. Penn State now is apparently going to burn a timeout to save the clock at 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Your crowd is 70,594. For a good turnout for the ball game at the old Los Angeles Coliseum. On fourth down, has to punt it away. Dale gets one of the better ones of the day. He runs Tyson Thomas back to the 13-yard line, but he gets to the sideline and comes back up to the 32. Oh, boy, there was some hard stopping on the SC sideline on that return. But that little guy was almost gone.
Well, there was an alley up the sideline. If he could have just been a little bit quicker, he had some room to run. Watch to the left of the screen. That's Chesley, 52, allowing him to get around him. If he could just get by Barber.
Only Holmes to beat. Calvin was the last one. But still 2:02 to play. 48-yard punt, 20-yard return, 28 net. Penn State's ball, first down, they're 32. They trail 19-14. Sakovac passes away, and it's big. And it's incomplete. Intended for Terry Smith, the senior from Monroeville, and Calvin Holmes was running right with it. Nets beat the Phillies. Toronto beat Baltimore. Baseball scores complete. Oakland is ambling home. The pressure's off them in the American League West. Dodgers and Cincinnati having at it the National League West. The Mets closing down on the Pirates in the National League East. Second down and 10. Good catch by Gary Brown, but Craig Hartsacker is right there. When Brown pulled it down one-handed, made his turn, Hartsacker got him. And there's a loss on the play back near the 29.
This is where Penn State is really at a disadvantage, not having a upscale passing attack.
Fumble by Saka. Didn't get the snap, had to go to the ground to cover it, and it brings up fourth down. Timeout, Penn State. That should be their last one.
That is just a cardinal sin. You cannot do that. Third down, you've got to get the snap from center. You waste the down, you're fourth down with 1 minute and 24 seconds to play. Can't tell there whether the center stood up too quickly or the quarterback pulled out. That's something you take for granted. One of the fundamentals, one of the miscues, and another miscue that Penn State fighting. Last week they had a bunch of them, and this week not as many, but certainly those that they have had have been costly.
The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game. Tony Sacco, Penn State. Tony having frustrating day because it looks like his team may lose by a little bit. And of course, Todd Marinovich of Southern California. The numbers for Tony Sacco: 16 out of 33, 242 yards and a touchdown. Marinovich, 22 out of 34, 239 yards and a touchdown. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to help those who need it. Gas, fourth down. Sacco's pass, intercepted. Second one today. And the second one for Stefan Pace. And this one is in the book. Todd Barry, our spotter today, our new bridegroom. Billy Edwards. Lord, I've known Billy for so long, can't think of how many years, but he's been the man who has controlled things on the sideline for us. He says this is his last game. College game. He's going with the pros now. He's leaving us. He feels he's graduated after 41 years.
Well, he's been doing the pros, too. I mean, he's just dropping us.
It's all right, Billy.
Southern Cal put some pressure, moved Sacco around in the pocket. This ball was almost there. Pace makes an excellent effort to cut in front of the receiver and pick that off. It had been out in front of him a little bit more. It may have been a completion.
So the Trojans now will just take a snap, get the clock rolling. Penn State with no more timeouts remaining, and this one should go in the books unless the Trojans somehow drop the ball. So Southern California is going to win this ball game 19-14, and frankly nobody is surprised that it was a hard, tough, grinded out, good football game.
It wasn't pretty, but these two teams are very tough and very physical, and that's the type of game we got.
Gary Wellman, a big day, 9 catches, 121 yards, and 7 of those catches went for first down. Next week, doubleheader out of the state of Michigan. Starting at noon Eastern time, UCLA Bruins, who are about to play Stanford over at the Rose Bowl, will be at Michigan in Ann Arbor. And we'll be up at East Lansing as Notre Dame rolls into town to play the Michigan State Spartans. And Notre Dame tonight is playing Michigan at South Bend. So Larry Smith keeps on winning at USC. 29-8-8. 8-1 now. And looking for his 4th successive trip to the Rose Bowl. So Joe will try to cross the field and shake hands with him. And your final score, 19-14, Southern California.
Forgotten. No longer. A Korean War Veterans Memorial designed by 4 architects who teach at Penn State has been unveiled by the president.